Hello, everyone. Welcome to the 45th day of 90 Days of Facebook Live. Today, I'm going to talk about we've been talking about the different types of budgeting, right? So the first one, we did the envelope budgeting method, and then we did the 70-10-10-10 budgeting method, and then we did the zero based budgeting method. And then yesterday, I talked about the extreme budgeting method. And so today I want to talk about the reverse budgeting method. You may be thinking, okay, what do? You spend all the money and then you're like, all right, let's budget, right? Um, that's what came to my mind, right? So reverse budgeting is something that you would want to implement if you are like, if you have a really, really hard time allocating costs um, to your financial goals. So things like paying down debt, things like making sure that you're putting money into investments. Um, so if you get a windfall of money, right? We may be a little bit past the tax refund season. Um, that money just may have been spent on expenses, right? I remember there was a millionaire that was talking about how he made $1 million and he didn't know where it went. Like, it was so weird to him because he was like, I'm ashamed to say this, but like, I had no idea where it went. Like, there was some nice things that I wanted to buy, but I couldn't afford it. Like, and it's just the weirdest thing. Like, you think, like, man, you're making $1 million. How do you not know where your money went? Right. And so, but that's the thing. Like, more money won't solve all your money problems if you don't get the managing portion of it down. Right. So that just says right there, he was just embarrassed because he was not able to really, yeah, he just wasn't able to really know where the money went. He was like, there was some nice things that he wanted to buy. He didn't go to the casino, he didn't gamble it all away, he didn't have any like drugs, he it all goes to the white. That's probably where it went, right? And so I don't know if you've ever been there. Hey, what's going on, Derek? If you ever been there where you have gotten a nice windfall of money, let's just say it's just like 10 grand or 5 grand, right? And you're just like, all right, I'm not going to touch the money, but you put it in your checkings account with where your other money goes, right? You put it in there and then you look up in like 6 months and you're like, where did this money go? Like, you can't think of any significant expenses that you've done. But when you look back, you just notice that you've been spending money here and there and here, right? And so it's the small things. So this reverse budgeting technique may be for you, right? We talked about extreme budgeting techniques. This one may work if you can work it, right? So this reverse budgeting, let's get it. What is reverse budgeting, right? Reverse budgeting, this is how it goes. Reverse budgeting is when you focus on saving your money first and basically paying yourself first, like paying towards your goals, paying towards whatever financial goals that you have. Um, so, for instance, if you're wanting to pay down debt, if you're wanting to save for a down payment on a home, if you're wanting to basically make investing money or emergency fund money or something that you have to pay towards your goals, right? Um, and let's just say someone puts a gun up in your head and say, hey, listen, you got to have $10,000 by the end of the year, right? Like, you'll find a way to make it happen, right? I'm not saying that that's the case, right? And that's crazy. Like, if someone put a gun to your head and was like, "Hey, I want you to save money for yourself," right? No one's gonna do that. So we really got to really have those goals um, for you. So I have to tell Uncle Sam that pay me first. So that's one thing I was gonna say is that reverse budgeting is already into effect because guess who gets your check? Guess who gets a piece of your check before you do? Yes, that's Uncle Sam. Uncle Sam is gonna get a piece of your check before you do. So the thing is that if you if you implement the reverse budgeting technique, then you'll see your financial goals reached a little bit more. So, for instance, if you said, okay, I don't know how much I could spare because every time that I try to wait to see if I get money left over, like 500 bucks to spare to put into a savings account or to pay towards debt, it doesn't happen. So this is what I'm going to do. So this is the mindset. This is how you implement reverse budgeting. You say, okay, what I'm going to do is I want to pay down debt. So the reverse budgeting says I'm going to take $200 first out of my paycheck. Well, first of all, I say this. I'm tithe. I believe in tithes, right? 10%, boom, right? So let's just use that for an example. 10%, I already pay tithes with the 10%. But here's the thing. You don't want to do the right thing with 10% of the money, but the wrong thing with the 90% of the money, right? So we got to figure out what's the right thing we can do with 90% of the money. And so let's just say that you're going to stretch yourself and say, it's basically the concept of paying yourself first. I'm going to take $100 out of my paycheck and I'm going to put it over here in the savings and I'm not going to touch it. So before you even use the money to pay for your needs, your expenses, or anything like that, excuse me, you use it to pay yourself. Sorry, excuse me. You use it to pay yourself. This technique again is going to be used if you don't have a lot of self control. Thank you so much, Derek. Another thing is that windfalls of money. So let's just say you receive a windfall of money. Let's just say that you dedicated yourself to either pay off debt or to invest into the stock market, right? Let's just say either one of those two things. If you want, what you want to do is either take a percentage or an amount, and you're going to say, I'm going to set aside $100 out of my paycheck or $50 out of my paycheck to invest into the stock market. That's reverse budgeting. And so it forces you to budget the rest of the money. So I'll read the formal stuff. So basically, you get paid and then you pay yourself first. You put money towards your financial goals first. And then you pay your needs. So basically all of your monthly expenses, and then you spend money on whatever else is you'll spend the rest. And so here's the thing. Reverse budgeting is already in effect because Uncle Sam already gets the first of your paycheck. So what you want to do is you want to set yourself up for financial freedom. So what you want to do is invest into yourself first. Invest into your savings, invest into things that will put you in a better financial decision. Here's what I say when I teach for personal finances is that everybody is always wanting to grab for your money, right? Soon as you get paid, guess who wants money, right? All your bills, all the utility bills, all the rent, right? Um, Commercials, everything, all the bills want your money, want your paycheck. And so what you want to do is you want to set a precedence of I'm going to pay myself first, because guess who really gets paid first, right? Uncle Sam. Uncle Sam gets paid first. And so especially if you're on a W-2 now if you are self-employed, yeah, there are some tax techniques that you can use that you'll be able to mitigate taxes. So that's what it is. So reverse budgeting, I highly recommend this method as far as setting aside an amount to go after your financial goals. I know it's like, well, hey, I need to live. Well, if you're forced to live on, here's the thing, we're always forced to live on the after tax of our paycheck. So whatever Uncle Sam wants to take out, yes, we can probably play with the numbers and put 0 or 1. I know they don't use that anymore, but I'm using that because that's what people know more is 0 or 1 or 2. And then soon as Uncle Sam takes their cut, then you're left with what's rest. Like you're left with what's left. And so instead of paying your needs, why don't you say, okay, what's going to put me in a better financial place in 5 years? Okay, paying the utility every month. I mean, yes, it's going to keep my lights on. But is that really going to put me in a better financial place? Okay, okay. Well, what can I do? What can I set aside? And so if you have not done that yet, I would encourage you to start somewhere, because I know one thing, you're probably going to eat, right? You are probably going to eat. But if you're forced to budget, And with the money that you have left over after you pay your essentials, it will, how can I say, force you to budget on things like shopping or entertainment or different things that are discretionary and that you can really be putting towards paying yourself first. So, one thing that I will say is don't go crazy. Don't go crazy doing things like extreme budgeting, right? Like if you spend $1 over, right? This is not a guilt or shame or condemnation or some type of financial strategy. The thing is that you want to be in a better place, and especially right now in the times that we're in, the economical times. Share cable. Hey, listen. Yes, share cable. For those who still have cable, um, go ahead and share cable. Man, I was just sitting there talking to my husband with your neighbor. That's it. Share cable, share what, share everything, right? Share Netflix passwords, right? Let's do that. So, but yes, but that's what you want to do. That's helped me. As far as whenever I was wanting to pay down debt, this was the strategy that I used. That I was just like, okay, well, if I pay down this bill or whatever, if I pay down this credit card, then I'm forced to live on the rest. Okay, well, I'm forced to cut back on my eating. I'm forced to cut back on my Starbucks. I don't really go Starbucks like that, but it can force you to do that just in case if you have money to blow. I'm forced to cut back on my shopping. And these are all defensive techniques that you want to employ with your money. But with the reverse budgeting, you're getting more, you're getting kind of more offensive because you're saying, I am going to make an intention on my money. I'm going to give every dollar an assignment. And with that assignment, this is what I want to do with my money. I'm going to pay myself first. So, The Richest Man in Babylon, if you haven't gotten that book, it's kind of the thou book, but The Richest Man in Babylon. I know. They were like the bad dudes in the Bible. So, but they were wealthy. They had it, going on or whatnot. It didn't last long, but it shows the principles that you need to have in order to become the richest man in Babylon. And one of the things that he had was a tenth of mine is mine's to keep. So basically, paying yourself first. So this was one of the ways how he became like that. He was the richest man in Babylon. And you pay yourself. What do you do with the money that you pay yourself, right? You put it into some type of investing or something that can help put you in a better financial place in the future. And so it all starts with intentionality. Once you start with your intention, so it's almost like there's this example that I love to use, and it's whenever you're in church and there used to be this big jar, and there were not big boulder rocks, but there were big rocks, there were medium rocks, and there were little pebbles. And what happens is that if we fill the jar with little pebbles, then those were all the little things, the all unimportant things. And there was no room for the big important things to fit into that jar. But if we put the big rocks in there first, right? The big rocks, then what happens is that the medium rocks and the little pebbles would be able to fit around those big rocks that you would put in a jar. I don't know if y'all ever seen that. I might do it one day. I might go and buy some rocks and actually show you guys. But that shows that once you put the important things first, that all the other things can fit around it, right? It'll fit around it. Versus if you focus on the little things, then you'll see yourself getting further and further behind. Here's what happens. If I put the little rocks in first and say, let me take care of all the little rocks, again, you don't have those important big rocks that can take up the space that you really need to have taken up. So focus on whatever your financial goals, and if you don't have any, then write it down. What do you want? Do you want to here's a baby step. I know Dave Ramsey used this, but if you don't have $1,000 in savings at all, like access, start there. And if that's too big, start with 500. Start with $500. And so out of each paycheck, How long would that take? Take $50 out of each paycheck. That'll take 10 times of your paycheck to get to the $500. I know it seems like a long time, but I would say go ahead and implement that. $50. You won't miss it because again, that goes towards food, eating out, different things like that. You won't miss it. Put it up and then you'll be shocked. Like $50 out of each paycheck. You'll be shocked at where you'll be. So hopefully that's some baby steps and you guys got to learn a little bit about reverse budgeting. So all right, well you guys have an amazing night and God bless. Subscriptions got me at first. Forgot what I oh, that's so good. Yes, go to your Apple. Oh, that's what I have to do. I always have to go to my little Apple subscriptions in my phone and say, what was that Apple? Because it only says apple.com $4.99. And I'm like, what is that? Right. So you want to go in your iPhone, especially iPhone users, and see what is coming out, what is getting ready to be renewed. Or if you bought like an annual membership for like $100, $119, and then you look up and you're like, where did that come from? Right? You want to make sure to see, do I need to expire the subscription or do I want to keep the subscription? So do that. That will help. Those are the little pebbles, right? So yes, that's really good. So thank you so much for pointing that out. And y'all have a blessed one. God bless. And a good weekend too. Y'all have a good Lord willing, I'll see y'all tomorrow. Because again, 90 days. I gotta go hard in the paint for that. So